Hey guys, how's it going? This tutorial right here, basically, I'm shooting this video just to tell you a quick story about an amp that got sent to me. And then you can start watching the tutorials and the demos that are coming up. So I talk about this briefly in the next one you're going to see, because I recorded it first. But about, I don't know, 8 weeks ago, my Mesa Boogie amp, you can see the 412 cabinet back there, right? Well, my head's gone, right? I had it up on this thing that's off the ground with wheels. You can't tell from this angle here. I mean, you might be able to if I... No, you can't. You can't. But it's off the ground, okay? And I kind of displayed it up on there like a fool with the wheels still on the bottom of the 412 cabinet. And one day, 5 in the morning, my daughter was asleep in the next room, and when I woke up that day, she's like, "Oh my God, I heard this crash, bam, in the room, Dad," and I went in there and your amp was on the ground. I'm like, what? What the heck? So I come running in here, literally. You know, Mesa Boogie, you know, is my dream amp. And so I come in, you know, she had picked it up for me, but what had happened is my stupid cat Terry got up behind it. I'm pretty sure that's what happened because my daughter saw him come running out of the room. Bumped it and it rolled off. So, bam, that Mesa Boogie dual rectifier head went, you know, 5 feet onto the ground, just bam. And I mean, the feeling, like my heart sunk. I don't know how to explain it. I'm like, oh my God, you just know, something's not good. And you also know when you plug that back in, something's not gonna be right with it. So anyways, I instantly, you know, plugged it back in, you know, and looked at the tubes. I'm like seeing if the tubes are all lighting up, and they were, but still I had a gut feeling. And it kind of was working, and then one channel wasn't working, and I used it for a few more lessons, a few weeks, and then it would cut off. I'd be probably in a couple of my lessons, I'm playing and just poop, the power is gone. The whole amp is shut off. The tubes are, you know, all that. So obviously, you know, tube, circuit board problem. Ended up getting it to the repair guy, and it took a while because of driving. He doesn't live where I live, and so he gets it. He's backed up and swamped, so he's got it for several weeks. I finally get it back. He's all, "Yeah, I got new tubes for it," and then there was some little cracks in the circuit board. It's like we were thinking, but I plug it in and it's not working. It's powering up and the tubes were working, but nothing. No sound when I plug it in. So I'm great. Here I go again. So in the meantime, I'm using my little Roland Microcube amp, right? They're killer amps for what they are. But if you watch in the past couple months, look on top of my 412, you'll see a red amp. It looks hilarious because I got this big old beast Mesa 412 cabinet. It's a little tiny red amp. That's a Roland Microcube is what it is, and it's so small it takes batteries. You can put D batteries in it, and it has a little strap. You can go to the beach, man, and just play. But it got me through, and surprisingly, it didn't sound too bad, man, for the lessons. But in the meantime, let me speed this up. I'm checking out stuff on Facebook that randomly pops up, and I saw the Positive Grid Spark 40 amp. It's a smart amp, man. You would hook your phone up to it. You can. It works if you don't do that. But I watched some tutorials, and you know, there's tons of features. You can jam with it. You can find guitar sounds that you like from other players on YouTube or wherever you want to, and this thing will find that tone, the closest tone to that amp, and give it to you. You can play a chord progression, whatever you want, whatever style, and it'll pick up like a band behind it, so it'll bring in drum beats and bass and stuff, so you're like jamming with the band. It's phenomenal. And I don't get excited a lot over amps, but the Spark 40, I was totally excited. I told my wife, "Jolene, check this out, man." And you know, she pretends to, like, you know, she doesn't know what she's listening for, but she knew I was excited, and I normally don't do that. And I told her about wanting to check into these. Well, crazy, within the next week or a little longer than a week, I get an email from the guys over at Positive Grid asking if I want them to send me an amp out. They're going to give it to me, and I'll demo it to my subscribers and my students. I mean, come on. I was like a little kid. Like, this is just too crazy, meant to be. So I told him, and within the next 10 days, it showed up. Then it sat here in my studio for a few weeks because I was afraid of how hard it was going to be to figure out. You guys know me, man. I'm simple-minded. I like to plug in and go. But you know, I needed to get a different sound going and stop using the little tiny amp. So I said, screw it. I'm gonna just plug this in. I plug it in, and just on the first 4 little preset sounds on the top of the amp, in other words, you know, I plugged it in, turned it on, and hit it, and I was like, oh my God, just in my face. How are they getting that big of a sound out of that small amp? Blows my mind. It blew me away. If you listen to some of my recent ones that I did, CBTs for White Cross, Take It to the Limit, go listen to that one. You'll hear that. That's a preset that's on this amp. So let me fast forward, because this is way longer than I wanted it to be. I've got to demo this for you guys, give you my opinion on whether it's a good amp to check out and get. I'm going to tell you right out of the gate, yes, because I've watched enough tutorials, and now that I'm starting to dig into this amp, I'm so excited about it. It's probably going to be the amp that I'm using all the time, so I'm just, you know, when my Boogie comes back, I'll obviously keep it, but I think this is going to serve what I do better because of the diversity of it. You know, it covers everything. You can customize so many things on this, and I'm just ecstatic, as you can tell. So you're going to start seeing, I don't know how often, but more segments, and you know, as I discover new things with this, how to do it, I'm going to shoot another video on it, and I'll just have my camera focused on my phone so you can see what I'm doing, and maybe it can help you guys. And the price is ridiculously affordable. It fluctuates so once in a while when I go on it, but it's always been in the $200 range every time I've seen it. How they get away with selling it that low beats me. I mean, this amp's it's great. So check it out. Be watching for my videos and showing you, you know, the amp sounds. The next one that you see will be pop, rock, blues, and then alternative. And there's like 4 amp settings that they have for each one with different distortions and effects and stuff. And that's another thing. You can go in on all the effects and dial in the effects how you want. The amp EQs, just like it's a real amp in front of you. You know, you can adjust the EQ, turn the gain up, turn the gain down, the treble, save it. You know, dial in exactly how you want it. All right, so that's it. Check them out. Okay, please go check them out and watch for more of them. Subscribe to this channel, hit the notification bell so you get every single lesson that comes through, and video, whatever the tutorial may be about on this channel. Appreciate each and every one of you guys. Until next time, I'm Mike Gross. Keep rocking.